Welcome to the Painting Coach, and today I'm going to show you how to paint the brand new Jump Pack Chaplain from the Armageddon box set. A huge thank you to Games Workshop for sending this out to me early. Let's get painting. So naturally, for a black armoured miniature, I have primed this miniature using Chaos Black spray, making sure I've got a nice even coverage all across it. Now, the first thing I'm going to do may be a little counterintuitive to some, but I'm going to give it a very thin base coverage with Abaddon Black. Now, the reason for that is I want to unify the black colours so that if I make any mistakes, and let's face it, when I make some mistakes painting it, I can paint over it easily and I won't have two different colour blacks on there, I'll just have the one. Once I've got that done, I'm going to paint all of the silver elements. Now, I'm using Surcoat Silver for this. If you haven't got this and you've got lead belcher, or if you've got dark aluminium, absolutely fine to use those colours. The result is the same. I'm just using this because I think the coverage is a little bit better at the moment. In terms of what I'm looking to target with the silver, there's the vents on the jetpack, both on the boosters and on the backpack itself. There's obviously the boosters on the back of the legs as well. You've got the guidance fins, and there's the halo on the chaplain's head, the workings of the gun, the halo on the croziers, and also the chain across the chest. When that's dry, I'm going to shade all of it using Nuln Oil. Now, it's really important here not to slop this on. It's looking to just shade the miniature, so you just want to paint it across all the area, making sure it goes into the recesses. If you put it on too heavily, it's really going to look quite ugly, and you may actually lose some detail if it pools as well. So just keep an eye on that as it dries. I'm then going to go in with some chrome from Vallejo Model Air, and what you'll notice here is I've got a very small amount on my brush, and I've got a very fine tip as well. And generally what I'm looking to do is drag this across any edges of the model to get a really nice crisp highlight. I'm also focusing on those areas and be a little bit more liberal with the parts that are going to catch the light, because I think you can afford to do that on this model as well. It just adds that really nice little bit of brightness on there. Moving on to the gold, I'm going to base all of this using Dragon's Gold from Two Thin Coats. If you haven't got this, Retributor Armour is perfectly fine. Now, I did need to use two coats to cover properly across all these areas, but it is worth doing it that way to make sure that you don't obscure any detail. In terms of the amount of gold, now, there's not a massive amount of it, but I've painted things like the main part of the Crozius Arcanum. I've painted all the trim around the jetpack and across the legs. Now, there is an argument to say that all the skulls, you can paint them in a bone colour. I decided to paint them gold, so we've got the skull on the knee pad, the skull on the shoulder pad. That works better for me rather than having them bone. And there's also that Rosarius that he's got on his left arm as well, and the detail on the bolt pistol. To shade all the gold, I'm using some Reikland Fleshshade, and again, exactly the same protocol here as with the Nuln Oil previously. Don't flood the model, don't put too much on because it's going to look really ugly when it dries, and you may lose some detail. You just want to paint this on in nice thin layers and let it settle in those recesses to give you a nice bit of shading. The first highlight I'll put on all the gold is going to be with Glistening Gold, again from Two Thin Coats. If you haven't got this, Liberator Gold from Citadel is absolutely fine. It's the same, roughly the same colour. And what I'm looking to do here is the same as when I did the silver highlights. I'm looking to drag the brush across any sharp elements to catch those nice crisp edges. Where I haven't got those sharp elements, I'm looking to just pop this where I think that the most light is going to reflect from that gold, because I want that brightness. But it's really important you do leave some shades in the darker areas, because again, it's having that contrast which is really going to help the gold pop. Like I said, where I can, drag the brush across the sharp edges. That'll give you that nice crisp highlight. Be careful as well. You don't want to go too wild and spill this all over the black. Now, I know I've spilt it on the black, and that's why I gave you that Abaddon base coat to start with. Final highlight I'm going to pop on the gold is going to be fairly sparing, and it's only going to be on the sharpest edges, and that's white gold from Procryl. If you haven't got white gold, you can mix a tiny bit of chrome in with the Liberator Gold, but not too much because it'll go a little bit too green. But what I'm looking to do with this is just spot it on those most raised areas and those parts that are catching the absolute most light. I don't want to go too overboard with this. I want the effect to be subtle. Next up, I'm going to paint what potentially could be the excessive amount of parchment on this chaplain. Only joking, of course, he's going to be covered in it. So I'm going to take some Rakarth flesh for this, and I'm going to be very carefully base all of the areas of parchment. So we've got all the bit going through the midriff, the groin, are flowing out behind him. We've got the pages of the book as well, and we've got a couple of purity seals on the jetpack. We've got a purity seal on the Crozius, and we've also got a purity seal coming out from where that book is as well. I'm then going to shade all of these areas using some Agrax Earth Shade to get some nice depth and shadow to them. Again, don't go too overboard with the Agrax Earth Shade. You just want it to shade the areas and really darken those recesses. If you put too much on, it's going to pool, it's going to look ugly, and it's going to be really difficult to highlight. So just keep an eye on it when it dries. To start the highlighting, I'm going to go back to Reikland Fleshshade. Now, where I can, I'm going to drag my brush across the edge of the purity seals to get a nice crisp highlight. And I'm also going to paint the majority of the purity seals, leaving the darker colour in the recesses. When it comes to painting the pages of the book, make sure you've got a really good tip on your brush. Again, I'm using my Artist Opus Series S size 1 for probably 90% of the painting on this model. It's got a really, really good tip, nice size belly, so the paint will flow off really nicely to get you those highlights that you need there. The last highlight on the parchment and purity seals is going to be a 50-50 mix of Reikland Fleshshade and AK White. Now, I'm going for this because I prefer the colour to something like Pallid Witch Flesh. If you've got Pallid Witch Flesh, that'll work just as well, but I prefer the mix here. What I'm looking to do is just drag this across the sharpest areas, so across the edges that are facing upwards and catching all the light. And I'm also looking to use it to highlight the ridges of any folds across the parchment. So there's quite a few bits and pieces on there. Just work your way carefully across the model. Next up, I'm going to paint the leather grip on the croziers and also the leather cover of the book. I'm going to paint these the same colour. So the colour I'm using for this is Screamer Pink, which I think is quite nice and effective. In the first instance, I'm just looking to give a nice solid base coat, making sure I haven't got any black showing through. So I am painting this into the recesses. Obviously, when you're painting near the gold and the parchment that's already finished, you'll need to be a little bit more careful. I'm also going to paint the casing of the bolt pistol. Now, I'm not going to do the Screamer Pink. I'm going to use corn red for this. So I'm going to have a red casing on the bolt pistol. I'm also going to use this to paint the larger beads on the rosary across his wrist as well. Just be careful, again, adding this corn red that you don't spill it on the silver or the gold you've already finished. I'm then going to wash the grip of the croziers, the book leather, and also the casing for the bolt pistol using Nuln Oil. Again, same protocol as everything else. Make sure you work it into those recesses, but don't let it pull too heavily in one place because that's going to make it really difficult to tidy up later on. When that's completely dry, and it is really important that it's completely dry, I'm going to go back in with Screamer Pink. Again, you can see I've got a really nice tip on my brush here. And generally, I'm just looking to highlight the diamond pattern that we've got on the grip, leaving those darker colours in the recesses. And then when it comes to that leather book cover, I'm putting a little bit more Screamer Pink in. And it's really important here because it looks like the detail is not quite as deep as it could be. So I'm having to re-establish that indented line that is sculpted into the book as well. To highlight all these areas, I'm going to use some pink horror. Now, generally, I'm just going to use the tip of my brush and drag it across the sharp edges, just taking my time to highlight them. When it comes to the Crozier's Arcanum, I'm being a little bit more careful. And what I'm looking to do is basically paint the top two sides of the diamond. So it looks a little bit like an upside down V. Paint this across all the diamonds, and that's going to give you a nice highlight that will stand out. If you put it on a little bit too thickly, you can always go back in with Screamer Pink, and this goes for any parts, and just tidy it up a little bit, and that'll give you a bit more of a crisper highlight. For the bolt pistol casing, the first thing I do is go back to corn red, and generally I'm going to paint the majority of the bolt pistol casing, leaving the darker black colours in all of the recesses. Just taking my time to do this. I don't want to spill any corn red in there, but it's a fairly nice and easy, straightforward step. I'll then take some Evil Sun Scarlet and use this to really properly highlight the casing of that bolt pistol. Again, I'm leaving the darker colours in the recesses, and I'm just dragging my brush across the edges here to give me that nice crisp shape. Again, any massive mistakes or errors you make, you can always correct with some corn red. Moving on to the leather, so I'm going to use a reddy brown effect here, and I'm going to start off using Rhinox hide. So I'm going to base the holster for the bolt pistol, also the bits of belt you can see, and there's also a little bit of a wrap around the book, which I thought would look quite nice as a leather element rather than a parchment element. So I'm going to paint that as well. Just take your time with this. Obviously, there's lots of areas now that are finished, so you don't want to make any mistakes. And with the Rhinox hide, it can be hit and miss, and you may need two coats of it. The first highlight I'm going to do on all the leather is with Doombull Brown. Now, generally, I'm going to paint the majority of the leather using this Doombull Brown. The Rhinox hide essentially is the shade, and the Doombull is the mid-tone. So take your time with this. Again, you're going to be painting around areas you've already finished, so you don't want to spill the paint across them. Any massive mistakes, or if you put a bit too much on, you can always go back in with Rhinox hide. The last highlight on all the leather is going to be with Scrag Brown, which is a very nice bright reddy orangey brown. And what I'm looking to do here is drag my brush across the edges to get those nice crisp highlights. If you want the leather to look a little bit more distressed, then you can start putting some nicks and scratches in using this on the internal side of the leather. But if you don't want to do that, don't worry, you can just do the edge highlighting. And of course, I'm highlighting up that leather that's holding all the book in together as well. Next, we're going to paint the purity seals, and I forgot to do it at the time, but I also did paint the gem in a very similar way. So firstly, base all the wax of the purity seals and the gem using Caliban green. That's if you want to go for green gems. If you want to go for different color gem, you'll have to use a different color. I'm then going to use some warp lightning just to highlight these by tapping it across the raised edges of all of the purity seal wax. For the gem itself, I just put a little bit of a half moon at the bottom, and then I finished it off by taking a little bit of moot green and painting this inside the warp lightning. I didn't film that, unfortunately. Moving on to that very distinctive skull helmet, I'm going for a kind of a warm bone color. So firstly, I'm going to base all of it using Zandri Dust. So again, take your time here, work it into all the nooks and the crannies, particularly around that aquila that's stamped into the helmet, but try not to spill it on bits that you've already finished. And this will need 2 coats, and if you put it on even thinner than that, you may need 3. I'm then going to wash the helmet using Agrax Earthshade. And again, I just want to work this into the recesses, really focusing on those areas. I don't want to slop this on because I don't want to get it over the silver. I don't want to get it onto the black part of the armor either. When that's completely dry, I'm going to go back in with Zandri Dust and start to re-establish the brightness of the skull helmet. I'm leaving the darker color in all of the recesses and generally painting the majority of the helmet with the Zandri Dust at this stage. I'm then going to go in with some Ashabti bone, and this is really going to start to lighten the helmet. For this, I am covering large areas of it, leaving the darker colors in the recesses. So I'm looking at things like the eye sockets, obviously around those, the brow of the helmet, any bits that are going to catch light, and also going in and picking out those individual teeth as well. Then I'll finish up the helmet using some Screaming Skull, and I'm only going to use this on the sharpest raised edges. So we've got obviously the brow, we've got the cheekbone socket, we've got the nasal socket, and we've got the teeth. So just take your time with that, and that should give you a really nice bright skull helmet that contrasts fantastically. For the eyes, I want to do some bright glowing red eyes, so I'm going to base them all using white. Now I'm using AK white for this. Use whichever white paint you've got. Then I'm going to take some Bal Red contrast paint and paint this over the white, making sure that it's dry. And then I'll mix the Bal Red contrast and the white paint to get a nice bright pink and just dot this in the center. You may need to tidy up the edges of the eye sockets. Now, before we go on to the black armor, I just wanted to very quickly paint the smoke on the miniature. Now, you can paint this whichever color you want, but for me, I'm going for just traditional gray smoke. So I based everything using Corax white. I did need 2 coats, but once it was on there, it was nice and even coverage. To paint the smoke, I firstly took some Basilicanum Grey contrast paint. Now I've got a fair amount on my brush here, and just painted it towards the top where you've got the smoke starting to expand. I then cleaned my brush off, took some contrast medium on it, and just basically painted down, mixing the contrast medium into the Basilicanum Grey, making sure that it didn't settle too heavily in any one area. And this gave me a really, really nice subtle grey effect. If it's not light in a few, you can always go back in and dry brush a little bit of white over it as well if you need to. So moving on to the black armor then and finishing up the miniature. Now, the first thing that's important to do is go back over it with the Abaddon Black and fix any mistakes that you've made. Now, I made quite a few, so I did take a little bit of time to do this. I want to build up kind of like a grey black, and I want to do this quite subtly. So the first highlight I'm going to use is with Corbus Black. Now, this is a very, very, very dark grey. What I'm looking to do here is obviously catch some edges of different parts of armor panels, etc. But I am painting this on quite thickly, and I'm not being too focused on getting nice crisp lines with this. Where I can drag it across the shape of the model, I am. But generally, I'm looking at the shapes of the armor and just painting those shapes in a little bit, because as this dries, it's really going to blend into the black underneath. I'm then going to take some Eshing Grey, which again is another very dark grey, but I'm going to be a bit more deliberate with my highlighting in this step. What I'm looking to do, like in the last stage, is drag this across any sharp edges, because that's going to give me some nice crisp highlights. I'm making sure that wherever I apply this, I paint it inside the Corbus Black from the last step. That's really important because it means that you're not going to have any massively brighter areas where you've gone over with the highlight. If you do, you can always paint over it. But generally, I'm focusing more on that edge highlighting for this step, looking to drag the brush as much as possible and just establish those nice, crisp, sharp lines. Moving on, and I'm going to continue building up the highlights using some Dawnstone. Again, we're getting to the realms of a much brighter grey now, so it's very important that you haven't got much on your brush. You've got a really fine tip, and you're really just dragging it across the shape of the model. This will give you those nice crisp highlights. They'll all be inside the previous buildup of grey layers as well, so it's going to look nice and crisp on the model. Take your time with this, particularly around areas such as the chest carvings, where it's really important to get some nice thin lines, and particularly around the shoulder blades and where you want it to be brighter. So just work your way across the model, take your time. It's really going to start to come together now. The last highlight on all of the black armor is going to be a very small highlight, and the color I'm using for this is Administratum Grey, which again is a nice bright grey. If you haven't got Administratum Grey, mix a little bit of white in with your Dawnstone. Again, hardly any on my brush. A really good tip. I'm just dragging it across the parts of the model where I think that the light is going to be the brightest. So like I said, I'm using this very, very sparingly on edges of shoulder pads, on edges of the jump pack, the chest armor. Very, very little, but it does help it pop. If you put too much on, the model might look a little bit too grey. The last thing that needs doing is all of the script work, and I hope you can see this on the camera. So what I've done is I've got some very thin Abaddon Black paint. I've got hardly any on my brush. I'm just looking to draw wiggly lines across all the scripture. If you want to add some decals here to some skulls and some aquillas, then that's a nice effect as well. But I'm just going to go with the plain old text. The other thing I've done is I've taken some chrome from Valeur Model Air, and I've just dotted this across all the rivets on the armor. So I've got some nice silver stud work, and again, that just helps everything stand out. And there we go. The chaplain is ready to bring righteous fury to the enemies of the Emperor on the battlefield. It's a fairly easy, straightforward tutorial, but there's just lots of different elements on there because obviously he is a HQ character. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out all of my other Armageddon content here. Make sure you like the video, and if you've got any comments, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.